And we are live. We are live. We are live.
Oop.
Hello.
Whoa.
We're live.
Whoa, whoa.
Where am I?
Right before we
falling.
went live, I was gonna tell this where there was always two jobs that I thought I was born too late for that I think could have sustained me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
And maybe I would have made art too, but who knows? These two things. One, a
Right.
friend hit it on the button when I was in college. I was working orientation. This was my buddy. I think it was Leon. He once told me yeah, you would be the owner of your own video game shop.
Oh my god.
If it was sustainable. And I went, yeah, dude, if it was, wouldn't be here. I'd be doing that. If it could make money. But rentals were dead by even then. So
yeah.
Not even strange. So now, I mean, they can exist, but they have to exist kind of like as a boutique experience. I'm thinking of like certain shops I go to now, and it's kind of come back too. But it's got to be rarities. It's got to be good stuff. It's got to be like hard to find stuff, and then like I guess the most recent. But even then, those don't do much. People just rent them online. It's only going to be for like, the old folks still want their DVDs and VHSs, all that.
Yeah.
The other job I always thought I would be great at, but again, it's dead. Unless serious, hey, you want to pick me up? Radio host. Feel like I would have killed it in my 20s.
Fuck. Oh my god, yes. Like just like a 2-hour talk block, or you do music, or
what were you but everything, man. I would be the whole shebang. I would be I would be the morning talk show. I could do late night. I can do graveyard. Actually, if it was music and like a theme stuff, I would totally have done graveyard. Were you doing all weird shit?
Yeah.
Stories, all that stuff. So hey, if I mean NPR I heard is bad now. So like
yeah.
But apparently Sirius is picking up artists, and that's kind of cool. So hey, if Sirius you wanna hit someone up with really bad advertising skills, who thought Sinners was a 9 out of 10, go pick it up.
If you're ready to take a gamble on that,
ready to take a real fucking gamble,
call me.
I would have killed it during the LA synthwave scene.
Yeah, you can be 2 thumbs way up, Chris. 2 thumbs way down.
Way up. Just nonstop talking, nonstop stuff.
Okay.
There was another story I was going to tell as an opener. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about gaslighting, and I said no, because I can never. My thing with gaslighting is like I'll do it when I think it's funny, and then I'll just immediately go, that's not true, or like break the illusion or bit, because I think breaking the illusion or bits also could be funny if you do it right.
Yes.
Yeah. And I realized this the other day. I don't know how long ago this was, and I may have told the story on the older podcast, but I remember one time convincing a girl in my high school physics class that Silence of the Lambs was a comedy, and she had never seen it. She didn't know anything about it. She had never seen it, and so I'd forgotten about it. And then, I kind of got the teacher in on too, because I kind of just as you're talking about, you're like, what are you guys talking about? And I went, I'm just telling her, how Silence of the Lambs is like a real funny comedy, and I think she should see it. And my teacher was kind of like, yeah, he was kind of pursed up, but he was trying not to laugh. Yeah, it's a real funny comedy. All I'm saying is I was selling it better than he was, but if there's so I forgot about that. And I think a week or so after, she came back and she was like, yo, I saw Silence of the Lambs. That shit was not funny. And I fucking died. I was like, what? You didn't think it was funny? That part where he goes, fava beans, wasn't just peak belly laughs to you?
You didn't get to the scene where he looks down and he's doing a kind of bit where he's like, oh,
I'm wearing your face now. Oh. It's like, Clarice, do you hear the lambs? Oh, fucking timing.
Very dry. It's very dry.
And I never corrected that, so I don't know if she still believes that.
That's fine. That's fine, man. Wait. As a quick aside, as a quick thing,
Yeah.
I think I may have shared this on the other podcast too, but I did have a friend. This is thematically relevant to what you said and to the movie for the week, but I did convince one of my friends in high school that teeth was based on a real medical condition that can happen. I was like, oh yeah, that can happen. That can happen, guys. You always got to check. That's why you always got to check.
I was gonna check. Fuck, what was I gonna? And then there was one other time in college, but it was by accident because I thought they were joking, and I was playing along, and it was like the food hall or whatever for the residents there, and I got something, and the person who was serving, because they're students learning hospitality at that college, and that stuff. She was like, "Yeah, here's your jalapeno."
Oh my god!
Now, now I know that sounds bad, like in races here, but I can assure you, when I was talking to her, or when asked, I didn't feel that at all, or feel any of that, because I said, "Oh yeah, no, I just want a lot of jalapenos," and then she looked at me and went, "Oh wait, is that actually what it's called?" Because I made it sarcastic.
Okay.
And she went, "Oh, is that what it's actually called?" or because that's what I've been calling it. And I went, yeah, because I thought that was part of the bit, because I thought we were doing a meta thing.
Right. Exactly.
But people don't do that. So I came out the dick somehow.
And so I lied to her, and somehow I'm the
somehow I'm the monster. No. No, so it wasn't until I was like paying for my thing and I went, "Oh shit, I think I just convinced someone that you pronounce it jalapeno." Oh, okay. All right.
You can
and
really...
then I didn't want to go back in line, so I just sat and ate with my friends.
Can I cut the heat with a little bit of Parmesan? You could just grind that
Parmesan,
up on...
Very, hey, you look very Suve and deboner. So wanna
Can I get you your appetites begun with some hors d'oeuvres?
When you're high, dude, my best thing is a quesadilla. Let me tell you, a quesadilla.
I think my Cajun grandmother genuinely did default in some circumstances to saying that word unironically, where she would just see, oh, the quesadilla. The
quesadilla. There was one. Fuck, what was I watching recently? I watched a video recently where they were getting a word wrong. And they were like, I know I'm getting it wrong. And the thing they were referencing, I'm like, I'm fairly certain they say that a million times in that movie. And they're saying it the right way. And still just like, nope, Midwest accent, man. It's just gonna fuck you. It's just gonna fuck you in certain aspects.
Wait, what? One last mispronunciation question. Do you guys have you guys seen the Antarctica documentary that's narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch?
No.
That is infamous at this point because apparently, at some point with Benedict's accent, he just starts saying penguins weirder and fucking weirder until even British internet was like, Benedict, what are you doing? You're calling them penguins? Penguins? And it just gets weirder and weird because they're making him say penguins so many damn times.
So he's starting to question himself, and now he's trying to correct or something.
Yes, exactly. And so you said, and then excellently when he's asked about it, he's like, I don't know anymore. I don't even know how I say it. I don't know.
I don't know who I was before. I just know who I am now. That past me is someone else, and I
This
am
me.
you.
I have stared at the tundra, the barren penguin wasteland.
All I'm saying is Werner Herzog had a lot harder job than we gave him credit for.
This is true.
Okay. This has nothing to do with the movie we watched today, but yeah, we watched A Nice Indian Boy, hot off the heels of my hot take of 9 out of 10 Sinners, because everyone gives it a 10, and honestly, I wanted to too, but you know what? We moved on. I don't need to keep defending myself on this.
Yep.
Nice Indian Boy.
We're ever in the present, guys. We basically
We're
forgotten what we even said.
That's right.
Forget about it. Gone now. We're here now.
And we were, and we also realized that we were talking about it, or at least I did, because I didn't realize what Ian was doing when he suggested this for June, and I said, no, we're doing 500 Days of Summer for June because it's summer.
Sure.
Was that a good Indian Boy would have been great for Pride Month?
Yep.
If we wanted that SEO, but because I hate capitalism in more ways than one, if you really want to argue with me why I'm cool with putting it here, other than laziness. Yeah, maybe we should have done it for June. Or
well, we're
gonna get 500 Days of Summer, one of the most infamous movies for red flags of men. Yes,
definitely so. And there will be gay stuff in the other part of June that we talked about too. So that's not, a total wash. Yeah. Well,
it's almost like it's part of everyday life. But anyway.
It almost, but not. Well, right, guys? We're real patriots.
Nah, we got to make it safe for grandma to listen to. We got to do nice stories about how I pet a dog earlier.
Good, clean stories about Mormon vampires. Despoiling. Yeah.
All right, so we watched today A Nice Indian Boy. This was, oh my god, I just had the thing. Fucking directed by Roshan Sethi. I'm probably messing up that name too.
Yeah.
Let me double check what they don't have much.
But they are married to the lead, Karan Sani.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, that might explain. Okay, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make you cry."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it really is 7 Days and The Resident, and I don't think I've seen either of these. Oh, well, The Resident was a medical drama. Okay. On Fox. 7 Days. Oh, with another with Karan Sony. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see.
And it was written by a playwright originally. This is adapted from a stage play.
Yeah, from a stage play
in Canada by a Canadian writer, Mandhuri Shakar, and she did that play, I think, in 2018 is what I had read here.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance. Just full disclosure, we literally, me and Nick at least, watched the movie maybe an hour ago.
Okay.
Before. Yeah. So the hottest takes.
Yes. I'm about 7 or 8 days out, so I've got slightly cooler takes.
Yeah. More well thought out. We have.
I've been really chewing on it. I have.
I will. Well, we'll get to. I'll talk about the scene in this movie.
Okay.
That I want to bring up. Yeah. So just watched it today. Ian was asking me earlier if we thought the budget for this was smaller than Outlaw Johnny Black and making it therefore the smallest budget film we've seen. I don't know because I haven't been able to find it. Maybe if I did a lot more digging or looked into different spaces, I can find it. I can tell you what it grossed. A Nice Indian Boy made a lot more money, or made double the money, but still not like what you think it'd be. This had a box office as of May 14th of 773,696.
Okay. A
So for a
modest
small,
success.
yeah,
Yeah.
for an indie movie, that's a modest success.
Sure.
Outlaw Johnny Black's a real bummer though. Box office for Outlaw Johnny Black is 319,848.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it really bombed.
Wow.
Granted, I remember hearing one trailer for it, and then it was never advertised again.
True.
And
that's true.
That's
true.
Fucked up. Yeah. So
I'll
I don't
say-
know. Here's my argument for what may be the smallest budget.
Mhm.
We're all going to the World's Fair.
Oh shoot, you're right. You're
Might
probably
be the smallest budget in my head.
Because not only is it almost no location shooting that you need to do, very little, it's also you're not paying for but most of the performers are either new up and comers or YouTubers that have an established presence. So
yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Chris.
And music. So that one might be.
Yeah.
Outlaw Johnny Black still had there's really nice camera work in big scenes. Or at least the covering of big scenes as we see at the end. Man, dude. Yeah. Okay, do you guys still think about that horse wiping out at the end of Outlaw Johnny Black? Because it's footage from another movie that I still got to figure out which one. But it's so brutal. Okay, content warning for anyone if you're gonna go look it up. This was way before they said, "Hey, no animals."
Yes,
in these movies. This really was the fucked up Wild West era. So that is a horse tripping over its own feet. Yeah. And you see all the muscles as it's flipping over. And it's so brutal. It's so to the point where it's oh, I see why they put that in the movie, because that's the craziest thing.
Yes.
You'll see in this thing. But it's part of a sequence where they're showing footage from old movies to cover up the big fight that you have in a Western.
Yeah.
The budget. And it's really crazy. It's cool. But it's also wow, they really did not care if animals got hurt back in the day.
Oh, no one could give a shit. Yeah. No, not a.
It's so fucked. It's like how when you find out that Gentle Ben joke in The Simpsons was based off a real show, Gentle Ben.
Yeah.
Because then it was a live bear with a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking wild. All right. Okay. So what do we know about this movie going in? Let's go into rising action.
Sure.
What did y'all know about this movie going in? Nick, do you want to start us off?
I mean, going in, I probably just the title and I knew I knew that it was a play originally, right? And then I knew the comedian going in, who film wise, film wise we've talked about before with Deadpool 1, and that's about it for me.
Yeah, I didn't know much going in other than Ian suggested it while you're trying to plan out these next 3 months, and which we have a plan now. I'll make sure to say that at the end. But yeah. All I knew is Ian said it was a queer rom-com. We checked it out. And I just saw that it was Karen Sony. I didn't know Sunita Mani was in here because I recognize her as a comedy actor for a bunch of stuff. Zarna Garg. Me and Ian both knew they were. She's a comedian.
Yeah, very funny.
And I'm pretty sure I've seen Haresh Patel, who plays the dad, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm just trying to remember.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's the guy from fucking How I Met Your Mother, but no, it's
I want to say he's been in Marvel as something.
He's been in Eternals.
I knew it.
The worst one. That sucks, dude. Because he's funny.
Yeah. He is. He really is.
He's got that deadpan, man. He's got that face that just sells it, and like, but then he can turn on the happiness and all that.
He's
He's got that going. Man, he's been in a lot of stuff. Okay, so he's like a big. It's mostly like Indian or like Bollywood, Tollywood acting. Yeah, this dude's a working actor.
No.
Hell yeah. So he knows how to work it. All right. Cool. Yeah, I didn't. So I recognized his face from stuff. Other than that, yeah, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything at all, other than, hey, this wasn't playing yet anywhere near me in theaters. So thank God it was streaming somewhere.
Yeah. No. Yes.
But yeah, that's all I knew. Ian, what did you know before going?
So kind of similarly, I didn't know too much. We all know Karan from the Deadpool films. Love him. Like you said, you kind of covered where we recognize some of these faces from. I'll just add, this I caught this at a double feature screening at a Lemley here in Los Angeles, and the B feature after I rewatched Sinners. The A feature was Sinners. The B feature was either going to be A Nice Indian Boy or Bowen Yang and the director from Fire Island's new movie, The Wedding Banquet, which is another queer rom-com that just came out.
Yeah.
Really, and I promise everyone on tape, I'm gonna go watch that movie next. It's on my list. But
yeah, because you like Fire Island, right?
I thought it was a really funny movie. I really did like Fire Island.
Should check that out.
Yeah, I think it's a strong. I mean, the idea of a Sense and Sensibility in the gay community in the present is already a kind of wild idea. But
yeah.
But anyway, that The Wedding Banquet was playing like 2 hours after Sinners, so we were like, oh, let's watch this. Let's try this one. So, I'm glad I tried it. Sometimes just going in the theater and just swinging at something, I recommend it, folks. Just throw something on sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us to the climax end of the movie. Everything that happened. So, one, it's kind of like, it's a little bit more subdued. Not subdued, but I mean like a lot of it's not very loud or in your face comedy.
Yes.
But it's funny. Like there's some bits in here that I think are really legitimately funny, and they come from just dialogue said, but they play it straight. And it kind of it works out. Maybe except the friend telling tales, but I also believe that because I know people like that. So maybe that's just my own like personal relationships going in. Yeah, off the bat, I think I enjoyed this movie. I really did. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was nice. I think there's a nice thing of like both the boyfriend or the husband. Let's start with boyfriend because we're at the beginning of the movie. And the sister like totally nail who that guy is. Who the main character is, which is, yeah, man, you're ashamed of you. Like, and everyone, we're all here kind of like doing our own thing. But that's what's dragging. That's what's actually dragging you down. Which proves that you need a manic dream love interest to come in, because now I'm realizing that's not that damn different from a manic pixie dream girl. And he's an artist too. He's a photographer.
He's a
to
photographer.
His button down science ways. A recluse.
He sings in public because he's full of love and spontaneity.
Yeah, granted, I'm kind of with him on that. If you just started singing to me in public on my first date, I'd be like, okay, I don't need that, man. I need. Listen, I usually don't care about what other folks are thinking. This has just been a theme of how I've carried myself in life. I mean, I grew up a metalhead, like dressing all this shit. But that's a lot for me.
Yeah.
Mostly because, not because of like what other people, but what am I supposed to do?
Am I clapping for your?
Yeah, am I going? Yeah, you sang. No. No. I get that, but it's supposed to be. Yeah, he's full of love. He's so full of love,
Yeah.
willing to give, and it's supposed to be this moment of like, yeah, when someone's literally singing to our protagonist's face about
Yeah.
love, he shuts down.
Yeah.
That's supposed to. So that first date is kind of nice to show that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
I
got. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I have a question for you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna actually compare it to our first or earlier rom com I just thought of that does it wrong, and I think this movie does it right, which is the movie with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks that we
Sleepless
saw,
in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Our hot take that we don't like that movie, even though we agree that it is maybe supposed to be a satire on rom coms.
Yeah,
But even then, I
it
think
does.
it fails in that. And then people know my takes on satires. Anyway, that's just it's called a callback, people.
Callback. But that movie, a part of it is kind of a part of the thesis of the movie is you just need to give up the rational part to love a little bit. And I feel like this movie does a way better job making the case for what that is and what that looks like.
Yeah,
You're gonna look a little silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not the same as like all the dumb shit that happens in Sleepless in Seattle. It's not just like, oh no, you're gonna be vulnerable and look silly sometimes. That's love. That's fine. I liked that. I felt like that really worked. That's all.
Yeah, it felt a little bit more grounded. Because I did believe, because it is believable as it's kind of playing out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not like, he's not shutting him down completely, but you do see that barrier go up. I think you find out he was lying that he never saw the movie or didn't like or like had problems with it.
Yes, exactly. I've been practicing the movie that is referenced several times, and we can just refer to the abbreviation DDLJ, but it's Dwali Dunacha Le Janakahe, which was a 95 rom-com that they show clips from and reference a few times.
Yeah, specifically the climax ending. The climatic ending of the movie.
Exactly.
Which I like swear I've heard of this movie, but yeah, I've never seen it. I didn't know it was called, so I might as well not have seen it or not know anything. But they reference this movie a lot, in fact, to the point where the proposal, which I swear to God, I think it's inspired by a real thing that happened, and I would want to know if that's where they got it from. The climate with one of the emotional climaxes of this movie, and it's not the end of the movie, which I really like.
It's kind of like the end of Act 2, end of Act 3, something like that.
Yeah. Because I think what follows after is a lot more interesting to me.
I agree.
Which is that they show the guy. This is the love interest's favorite movie. Let me get his name again. I know I just watched the movie, but it's like one sec.
The actor's name is Jonathan Groff. Jay.
Oh, no, we're cool. I thought my phone was going off. Okay. So sorry. Say it one more time.
Jay, played by Jonathan Groff.
Yeah. Okay. So Jay, his roommates played this movie. He's like, I don't want to watch this fucking thing. I just got a horrible relationship thing or fight, whatever. We'll talk about it. But the point we're making is he or protagonist edits himself to look like he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Dressed up and everything. It's kind of cool.
90s haircut and facial business.
Wig, jacket, had the leather jacket, the fedora hat, the guitar, full look, with the cardboard cutout of the woman. To truly propose to Jay, and it reminds me a lot of this real thing that happened, and there's videos of it because I think it went viral. Which is there was this, and I think it is an Indian couple. I gotta double check. But it's this couple, and the girlfriend's favorite movie is Sleeping Beauty, right?
Disney Sleeping Beauty. Okay.
Yeah, so they go to they go to a screening of it in a theater, or at least that's what the boyfriend tells her.
Okay.
And then when they get to the part where Sleeping Beauty wakes up, it's an edited version that the boyfriend hired an animator to do to recreate,
wow.
so it looked like her as Sleeping Beauty, and he was the prince, and it was supposed to be that. And then she turns around, and it's like, oh shoot, all the audience in the theater was like our friends and family because the boyfriend's like proposing. But my favorite part of that video that I don't think a lot of people point out is they cut when it first starts happening, the animated scene, and it's really cool because he obviously paid a lot of money for that.
Right.
It's is they cut to the girlfriend, and her face is not of like, oh, this is weird but sweet. It's more of like, the fuck is this shit? This what happened in this movie? Are you watching some fucked up cheap version of it or something?
Oh my god!
Like, it's this face of real like confusion and like disgust. Before it got, and I think that part's the funniest part of that whole thing. But I think they may have been inspired at least by that video.
I think I do know the reference to the real proposal you're talking about, and yeah, it's very similar. It is a very similar
very
idea.
Similar. It could be. It doesn't mean anything if it is. I just think it's a nice thing to point out.
It's a cool cultural touch point. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rest of the movie is the first like half of the movie is them developing the relationship, it's allowing our protagonist, I keep forgetting his name, so I call him that, Naveen, to kind of lower his barriers little by little, to allow himself to be vulnerable and like truthful of his feelings to other people, because he already knows how he feels. He just can't do that with other people. And it's causing like real problems. Which I also get the idea of, like, if you're trying to force someone to do that, that's a little fast, maybe it's not. I get why someone would be upset with that, especially in a relationship, but I would also say, like, it should be more, you should be helping them to get to that spot, because if they haven't gone there yet, especially at that age, it's like, oh, so there's some real shit like that is preventing you from tearing this down. You gotta work that out.
The part of the movie that I think is relevant, I'll mention really quick, and just that kind of hit me as like, I don't think I've seen this exact version of this scene in a movie yet, and I really liked, is all members of Naveen's family kind of adapt to Jay joining their family at different rates with different levels of enthusiasm. And that's kind of the journey you go on, where but like a big part of it is like Naveen has already prejudged how people are going to judge him. And
he prejudged specifically that they're not going to adjust.
Exactly. And I mean, all of that's terribly interesting. We'll talk more about that. But the scene I'm thinking of is where he and his father are at the wedding venue, the barn. And, the dad, both of them are terribly empathetic characters in that moment. The dad is not a virulent homophobe who is angry that his son is gay. He is maybe resentful at a young man who has choice that he wasn't offered in his own life, and maybe there is some resentment at that, and the son who is, and he even says, like, you've already decided how I'm going to feel about this before you gave me a chance, and you're being awfully demanding for me, kind of just coming to understand so much about you all at once. So, oh my god, that hits hard, so hard. That felt so real, man. That was beautiful.
Actually, let's put a pin in that, because to me, it's after the proposal that I just talked about with the movie scene that I think the movie actually gets really interesting. Because otherwise, it's like actually a pretty grounded evolution of love. You get to see all the little bits of like, just sitting around together, and it's sweet. You get the fight that's it's very real, which is like, because yeah, you can interpret that as, are you embarrassed by me, or you're not
Yeah.
willing to go to that level for me in this relationship, right?
Are
There's
you going to
somewhat,
pretend that I'm just some guy when your brother-in-law sees us for the rest of my life? Like,
yeah,
you know,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand you're ashamed of yourself, and that's something to
yeah,
work on, but I don't
yeah,
want you to put me in as part of that shame. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
that this
Yeah.
is just another aspect of you to be ashamed of,
Mm-hmm. Totally.
because
Totally.
they're grown ass like men, like they've been
Yeah.
through shit, and you don't want to be
Yes.
melded into that,
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so I totally get the conflict there. I think it's grounded. I think it's like pretty quote unquote modern, but I think it's real. Like that kind of
Mm-hmm.
like melding into one person and being swept up into someone's own like proclivities of themselves, like
Yeah.
their own notions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that being born from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get the anything else to say about the proposal before we move on to the wedding planning phase of the movie? Because again,
Well,
I think that's more interesting.
well, Nick, what from like Act 1, Act 2 kind of is sticking with you, or was it the building the romance or the family stuff, or what scenes are kind of jumping out to you before we go anywhere else?
I mean, you guys pretty much touched on a lot of the more interesting things about it. I think the movie grew on me for sure. I think also like, yeah, a lot of the jokes I thought were pretty good because again, they're all comedians. So uh,
Yeah, there's really good dialogue,
Yeah.
dialectical jokes, just nice back and
yeah,
forths.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
definitely like very the family scene I thought was great. I think yeah, the whole like uh thing of the main character like still having these sort of parts of himself where like he's his hangups are showing like I think like sort of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think like yeah I think the family scene was cool like I thought the thing with the sister was interesting of like she's going through a divorce and but then she's also like
yeah,
mimicking like what her parents like
Yeah.
put on their son of like how dare you be happy when I can't be happy like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
yeah. Like it gets to happen to you, especially when I was in an arranged marriage, right?
arranged marriage yeah
Yeah.
Which still
no first two acts are
okay,
great yeah
yeah.
but we're jumping
I
ahead 'cause,
like.
like that
Oh, go ahead.
three yeah
Mhm.
I'm not saying like no I'm just saying like I'm just jumping ahead a bit to the family because that's act
Yeah, we could
three
just
but
talk about it because I think
Yeah.
honestly, like, there's actually not that much to say about the romance itself, other than like it's done very believably.
Yeah.
It's grounded, which is pretty cool to see for a queer movie, especially because
Mm-hmm.
like there's so much expectations for at least if let me know if I'm off base here, but it feels like there's so much expectations for queer romances to be
mhm.
like either one, we have it all figured out, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We're the best.
Yeah.
We're the team. We're the two queer guys in this movie.
Yeah.
Fucking solved. or or there's the thing of it's got to be this weird kind of like joke. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like being flamboyant. Like
Okay.
that's obviously a choice to be made for like anyone in their ways of expressing themselves. But what I'm saying is movies will portray that like as a comedy aspect, as just a joke rather than like an aspect of a person.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
always a fear of that in film too. But
Yeah.
this is like no, they're both gay men,
Yes.
and like they're
Yes.
gay in their own ways, and one's very loving, he's very outpouring.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the not Frasier, fucking Will and Grace. I think has a relationship like that at some point.
Mm. Mm.
But like, and it feels like it's treated with respect because it's directed by gay man. He knows what
Yeah.
his love
Yeah.
is like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I just pulling this out of my ass here?
No, no, no,
As a
not at
straight
all.
Hispanic dude.
I I think that I think that a lot of queer stories tend to fall into a dynamic of either like super valorization or trauma pornography.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the flavors that they've gone through. So, but like, I think the degree to which this movie makes you feel at home, and the whole point
Yeah.
is to just say there is actually nothing actually extraordinary other than here's a family that like cares about each other. That's really all the story kind of hypes itself up to.
You know, that's actually that's a great point you brought up, Ian. Where like it makes you feel at home because so much of that is supposed to be tied in with the character notion of I want to feel like I have a family.
Yeah,
that belong to this home. That's very important to Jay.
Yeah,
especially right with Naveen not realizing he has a family he just hasn't appreciated or given them the chance to like show their love.
Yes.
As becomes like part of his character is just he's not willing to let people show their love because he's already felt like he's nailed who they are,
or that he feels like he doesn't deserve that nice and a degree of
I think that's
affection.
I think that's an aspect of that, like
right,
that's what drives that attitude. It's motivation.
No,
I really like this movie. Okay, so we'll get into the parent stuff because I think that's really fucking interesting.
Yes, please.
The third act, this movie after the proposal, which that feels like that could be the ending of a movie. And it's nice, and it would have been fine, but that's where the movie could have ended, and it would have been a solid 7 if we had to give a number rating, and we could have sailed off into the sunset. But no, the interesting part is them planning the wedding, which is a very they want a big Indian wedding. And so much of the Indian weddings are playing in traditions that are gendered, that are kind of fucked up. The whole giving away. I mean, that's not just an Indian thing. That's in
most
a lot of weddings.
Yes.
And it's always fucking weird because it's like my dad gave me away, and it's like that implies a weird romantic thing with the father as well. And not just ownership, but like romance and maybe even sexual thing with the daughter. And that's fucking weird. And, just, there's a whole bunch of problems with that. But they're talking about that. They're getting into it, and they're kind of changing stuff around. And there's so much of the parents are like, what we don't know. We don't know what to do in this situation. It's new to them. Right. So they're still speaking of that. So so they'll say stuff that's very antiquated. Yes. But it never feels like homophobic. Because it feels like these are people who just don't know. Like, and they're trying really hard, and they don't realize they have these ingrained stuff in them that these traditions. Because they've never had to face that.
Yes.
Which would have helped if Naveen had talked to them those past 6 years, as the mother points out. In that speech, it's great, man. That whole thing she talks about in following what I would argue is the gayest scene in the movie.
Which is, what scene is that?
It's the shirtless dude in jeans building furniture.
Oh my god!
And they're just staring at it.
Yes.
It's this, and this is a movie with a scene where they go to a gay cowboy bar.
Pretty tame cowboy, I will say. They toned it down.
Yeah, I felt like it could have been a lot crazier.
Yes.
Like some stories I've heard from people. But
they cleaned it up a little.
Yeah. But no, it's somehow it's the non-sexual act of watching a dude shirtless, a ripped dude shirtless, building furniture in jeans with loud music. Is somehow like the gayest scene in the fucking movie.
You're not wrong. I forgot about that scene. I just remember. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's that thing of like it becomes weird, like or it becomes weird, or it becomes like weird, like almost like overtly sexual when people are trying to deny it's not sexual. You know,
No,
like, you know what I'm saying?
just like to make chairs. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Oh, dude, you know what it reminds me of? Okay, I had a friend. Recently. She went to when she was visiting in LA. She went to the Sailor Moon live action show. I think at like the Pantages or something.
Okay.
I didn't even know this existed here in the States. I had always heard about it in Japan, but I would have gone if I had known, and which is why I was really mad at her. But apparently, if you got VIP tickets, which she did, you get to like shake hands with the actors and actresses of the play, or like high five them. And I just wait. So you're paying like $100 to touch these people. she's like, yeah, but it's. And then my other friend who was there, it's like, hey, for some people, that's like a lot, man. And I went, I know, but doesn't that feel weirder, right? than just admitting it's a weird romance or sexual thing. Say, I just want to touch them. I'm gonna pay a $500 ticket. I want a handshake. What?
That is exactly what I think. Anytime.
Am I crazy? Because I feel like this shit's everywhere now, and I don't know. All right, I'm gonna calm down. I gotta get off my. I know I'm speaking to like Gooner culture or whatever.
I'm almost on that same level of rage when people insist on trying to make ASMR completely innocent, completely.
Oh, I think we're so past that now, Ian. Okay. I think there's no doubt in my mind. It's that great crack video when Soren Bowie is introducing it to his coworkers, and they're all like, "This is sexting, right? You're showing us
sexting."
Sexting. It's like, no. I help this. This helps me go to sleep and relax, and it's a little tingling in the brain. And he's just like, "Sorry, I don't get it. This feels weird. I feel like this feels somewhat sexual, but it's not, and that's even weirder." And he goes, No, it's not sexting. Although now you guys are talking to me, and now I'm starting to think about stuff. And that video is just so funny because you get to see a man try to like open up to his friends, and just his friends immediately going, "Is this what you jerk off to?"
Fuck.
I don't know, Dick. What do you think about the whole? It's obviously a sex thing, but people are just vehemently denying that it is. This was all brought upon by the way of that scene of the man building furniture, shirtless in jeans.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a great scene for sure. Like, there reminds me of like an old interview with a manga artist. I think the manga artist for the Spider-Man manga back in the day, Spider-Man.
Okay. Cool.
It was like interview. It was that old interview NHK thing that the author of Monster and Pluto was doing, where he interviews like manga.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know the series you're talking about.
So yeah, for like a whole like historical video, they interview Ikigami, and he talked about how he got into making Yakuza style manga like Cry Freeman and Heat and stuff like that back in the 80s, because he said like there was a lot that he found like really intense of the culture of like even to the thing of like, oh, like I tried to go into fire. He's talking about like he tried to go into firefighting, or he went to like a career, and then he saw like a police officer like shirtless washing his car, and he was like, oh, maybe this is like that was pretty that seemed really erotic. Like,
yeah.
So
he's talking about like 80s movies, or like,
well, just that era, just like the whole era of like where things are, and physicality is very different.
Yeah, we've talked about that, right? There's got to be a name for this, which is the because it feels like it's been throughout.
Yeah, I don't think Gooner's right. I think Gooner's a funny way to say it, but I think
yeah, but you're right. This goes back to the 80s, because we've talked about this. There's got to be a name for
seems to be
Rocky and Apollo running on the beach in tank tops and the shortest shorts, and the volleyball scene from Top Gun, or most of Top Gun, and then there's got to be a thing for that, right? Or RR, the hyper masculine.
Yes.
It's supposed to be hyper masculinity, and you're looking at it and you go, man, that's some homoerotic stuff. That's pretty strong. Like,
so this is a great example of the misunderstanding of like where you have the classic of like, oh, JoJo isn't gay, or like it appears gay but it isn't, and I'm like, no,
it so is.
Come
they're
on,
just
like,
they're just sitting in a room
no
together,
coding.
shirtless, reading books, man.
Nothing's
Nothing else
coded.
is going on.
Yeah,
that is.
there's nothing to think about.
That's what we all do. We just hang out.
We all do.
Talk,
My Bible studies in Egypt.
It's what you show your mom, and then they go, "Oh, that's nice," and they don't think beyond that.
Pillar Man, come on.
Pillar Man's doing a swan pose.
Tana, come on.
Who's the two guys from Part 5 where they're just always on top of each other?
Oh,
in every shot,
Clash,
you know what I'm talking about? Oh, what?
Clash
Sorry, what's
Talking Head?
Clash and Talking Heads? Is that it?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, that's the one where like it's the two dudes, and then one's the fish that can jump through any body of water, and then one's like the tongue stand.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Okay.
There's got to be a name for this. It's probably. Oh, go ahead, Ian.
I was gonna agree with you. You'd said like hyper masculine. Like I think hyper masculinity and homoeroticism kind of like are next door neighbors. Definitely.
Really are. They're so close. It's so close to just like it's there's a line. There's a thin line.
There.
And it's so easy to just go into, and it's erotic.
This is an artist who's got some mature themes, but I'll mention because he lived here in LA. Okay. Like some of the gay bars in LA have Tom of Finland art on the walls. Tom of Finland. And like he escaped Nazi Germany, and so like a lot of his drawings are of like cops and military people and really manly guys until it's like, well, this is bizarre and crazy gay. This is so manly. There's no heterosexual explanation.
Yeah, this is softcore porn.
We work hard, we play harder. Yes.
Yeah, we work hard. We work hard. We play hard. Fuck. Yeah, there's gotta be. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that scene. That scene was crazy to me. It reminded me of that old meme of just the poster that was I think it's in Oregon or something, or Washington, where it's just two burly men waiting to be hired. Two burly men will show up to your house, take care of whatever you need, whether it be moving a couch, fixing plumbing, and all that. Hire two burly men at this number.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I want to redirect to the movie, possibly.
This has been a long detour. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny when people just deny it, you know, like.
Dude,
not even. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. It's I don't know. I was going to ask you guys, one of the scenes that I thought was really affecting, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. I really enjoyed, was, I want to say it's the very first scene where Jay and Naveen's father have like a one-on-one scene together.
In the car?
And, no, it's either before or after that. It's in the kitchen where...
Oh, Naveen, okay, sorry, you go ahead.
Where they talk about Naveen's drawing of Ganesh and how they met at the temple, and then Jay says that his adopted parents would put dates in their garam, which dad is the family cook, because mom doesn't know how to cook. And we have this whole scene where they're kind of getting to know each other, really trying to understand, and he's, also you get the like, oh my gosh, it's the first boyfriend. You're really getting to meet this guy for the first time. And
serious boyfriend.
First serious boyfriend.
We don't know yet.
And then the scene cuts to dinner with Naveen immediately saying, "Oh, did you put dates in this?"
Yeah.
And I don't know why that was so affecting for me. I was like, "Oh my god, they've bonded."
They've bonded. Now, can I just say this, Ian? One, yes, it is very effective. It's very nice. I will also say that's a very chef thing. Of someone makes a suggestion while cooking. They go, that sounds so weird. How did they do that? Yeah, you should try it. And I'm like, nah. And then they do it. And then that's like, man, every chef I fucking know has done that at some point. You make a suggestion, you say something like, I don't know. It's fucking weird. I've been doing it like this. And then they try it. They just do it. Because, we're, as someone who cooks too, you get just, fuck it, curious. Let's try it. Let's see if it's good.
Yeah.
I cook so much I can cook this in my sleep. Like, let's do it. Yeah, no, that is a very sweet scene. I actually like that whole kitchen encounter. I'm surprised Jay doesn't show his scar to the father. We don't see it, but they talk about it and they point it out. But I think it's also a smart move because it also just lets the father be vulnerable, and you're not trying to like one up or connect through just trauma. You're trying to connect as like people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who's been guilty of like, oh, that thing happened to you. I had a similar thing that happened to me, and it feels like you can be one upping the other person, or trying to.
And there is something like deeply as when you have those physical, emotional, whatever kind of scarring things, there is something cathartic about like airing it. But you know what, Chris, I really like the point you take away, which is Jay is just letting that moment be a sweet moment there that doesn't have any of that ugliness even attached to it. It's just we both like cooking, we both like art, we both love Naveen. That's what we have in common. That's great. Yeah,
we're talking about more the romantic side of life, and romantic both not just in love, but in like the old romantic ways of like you value things like art and emotions over other feelings. But that's a very nice scene. I think the mom arguing with the wedding planner. The wedding planner is very funny. I think it's
very funny.
Real funny. They got whoever they got for that. He did a great job. And then her just arguing with the dude, being like, "What the fuck? Like, what is this shit? You put him in a fucking barn, like where animals die?" And just that whole argument. And I like the conclusion of, "Oh yeah, your mom loves you," and it's like, no, she does. She's going up to bat for you.
Yeah.
Which leads to back to the scene. Well, we should talk about the car scene as well. The car where Naveen is talking to his dad. Car. This is right before the cooking. We kind of mentioned Ian mentioned it before, but it is that very like just trying to make your dad open up, but also it's a great argument because, as we pointed out, they're both wrong. They both have problems in that scene, which again, as we mentioned with Naveen's not letting people open up to him. It's specifically his family, who obviously love him as they show. And are trying. They're fucking trying in this new world. And I think they're actually doing a pretty good job. It could have been a lot worse. And like, as I've seen in real life, of just, you don't know just how fucked it is. That, again, it's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of hate around them. Like, it's this ingrained shit in society and all that they just don't even know has become part of their daily life.
I'll just throw a quick comment about Naveen. I think like he's his kind of living in the shadows kind of vibe. His anxiety about really voicing a strong opinion because he's sure he'll be shut down or shunned or whatever it is strikes me as like the opposite end of the spectrum, as we were talking about ugly stereotypes, as the mean homosexual. Like they are both responses to having a lot of bad things happen and then just expecting that to be the way it is forever in every circumstance, basically. Like it's protection from, oh, this is definitely gonna go bad for me. But
Yeah,
like,
it's a shell. It's
yeah.
it well, because I don't want to say it's just straight cowardice, because there are logical paths to that like thought.
Yeah,
And
and
there could be a
there's
lot of
real
really fucking good reasons that
and there's
if you
real
just don't know the
stresses
person.
that we do know, at least, that like there's a sense that the family might have a bad take, even beyond
Yeah.
that, like well into the wedding, until we get mom and dad's speech at the banquet.
Yeah.
You kind of get flirtations with, well, one of the aunties might be upset, one of the da-da-da-da might say something.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
But I would also argue there, while those thoughts are crossing, again, this is more of just like their experiences growing up and all that. And I think they realize that in the movie too, which
Mhm.
is like, no, they're still plowing ahead with the wedding.
Yeah,
And they're still making
yeah,
sure it happens. So it's like,
yeah.
so you know what? At its core, they don't really care too much about that. It's just going to be a little notion of, yeah, they shouldn't care at all for sure,
Yeah.
but they still definitely value like Naveen
Yes.
over that, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because it is ridiculous and sucks. But yeah, so we get the wedding, and it's a nice wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, I want to learn how they project that screen behind them during the vows, because it's the scene from the
Yeah.
movie, and it looks really good. It's like a weird,
Mhm.
like alcove, like
Mhm.
white background and all that. The way they do that, it
Mhm.
looks really good. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, they do the wedding, and then the mom gives a speech, and it's a really nice, like, it's a real funny like mom speech in that.
Mhm.
Oh, why would you think that's sexual in any way? I'm not
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
food. What's wrong
Mhm.
with you? And just that whole bit, and it's like, it's kind of corny, it's kind of cheesy, but it works. It's funny, it's
Mhm.
believable. What a
Mhm.
mom would write
Yeah.
for that, just to be like, just to be like to your kids, yeah, I can do that too. And
Mhm.
like, I love the dad's reaction to that,
Yeah.
because then it kind of comes together beforehand, but that's them really saying like, hey, we were in arranged marriage, and we didn't
Yeah.
know if it was gonna work. And
Yeah.
yeah, I said adjusting to those things, but I think I've been wording that wrong. What you learn is we got lucky. We learned to
Yeah.
love each other. And
Yeah.
that, granted, you're not obligated to do that,
Right.
but that is like a thing we got lucky in doing, and that we both like really care for each other and all that. And
Mhm.
that's where you realize, yeah, it's the problem with the daughter, that all, because they thought, oh, well, if it worked for us, it's gonna work for her,
Mhm. Yeah.
without really thinking about, like, what the whole arranged marriage is all fucked about.
Yeah. Yes.
And that it's
Well,
like, yeah, it's not, how could it, like, that's a real lucky case. It's not gonna work for everyone, man.
I did want to ask you both
Yeah.
if you had any experience with that, because I
An
thought it was
arranged
terribly
marriage?
interesting. With, well, not in like your personal, like
Nah.
I've known two folks where that was their parents' situation, and like I kind of got to know
Oh, their
them, and
parents. Interesting.
like yeah, yeah, yeah. But both of them were offered that. Both of them, of course, we're
I had a
offered.
friend who was offered that. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
Right.
And I don't think it panned out that way.
Yeah.
But we stopped. We lost connection like in college or something. But I
Okay.
remember early on her telling me about that. I don't know if her folks were.
Okay.
It would have been
Okay.
around that time in that area too.
Okay.
She was from
Okay.
Bangladesh, and I mean, she knew a lot about the tradition, so maybe your parents were. But
Hmm.
Yeah. I
that's all I know.
Nick,
oh I'm sorry, what was the question again?
if you'd had any experience, or new folks, or in your life, like experience with arranged marriage at all, like,
Hmm.
because I've just been thinking about the way that the movie presents it is like maybe one of the more interestingly nuanced ones, wherein
Mm-hmm.
they express that it's unfair, it's a deeply hard thing to ask, but also that
Mm-hmm.
there are people who have made that work. Like,
It's word.
Yeah.
honestly, they're not kidding themselves, and we're not here to say
Mm-hmm.
they're liars. Like, there are people who made it work, figured it out. Like, I don't know, just your any thoughts on that thread of it? I was kind of interested in.
Yeah, cause like I had a friend for a bit where she's like was in an arranged marriage, and
Oh wow.
yeah, cause like she was in one, and then her job like was cause she like used to live in Pakistan, and then like when she moved to the U.S., like she would like she would work in wedding planning, but like she would also like work in like the threading, like the hand and wrist thread. I was telling Chris like the hand and wrist
Oh
threading,
yeah, I think you have told me.
Right.
and inking.
Mhm.
So she would do that for wives, and yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, like and then she talked about like moving to the U.S. and like how like her explaining that she was in an arranged marriage, she found like it's been a while since I talked, but from what I recall, it was mainly about how she was surprised how negatively people took it in the U.S. when she brings it up, because
It
to
is very
her, like,
much against our like movie romantic ideas of marriage, right?
Individualistic principles and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
sorry,
well,
go
and
ahead.
then what I was saying, and then but then she always explains that no, like I knew my husband even before. It was just like we needed to
Mm.
arrange it. Like it was like
Mm.
it wasn't like completely like blank. Like it wasn't like I didn't know him at all. It was like
Yeah, it
Right.
wasn't the daughter in this movie or the
The
parents in
mother.
this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but no,
Where they met 30 minutes before the wedding happened. I think she says something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But maybe in Pakistan it's a bit different. But she said, yeah, it was just pretty straightforward. It seemed like
Mm-hmm.
it did.
Interesting.
I mean, they had no problems. Like after that, it was just yeah. It was more of that, more of just like the culture shock thing of oh, like people
Right.
do view this in a very negative light, even if it
Mm-hmm.
works out. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And oh, go ahead.
I,
Oh, sorry, Ian. I thought you were gonna say something.
oh no, I was just going to throw in really quick that I think the movie kind of actually does great work in that sense of yeah, it doesn't feel like it's even blaming the mom and dad for that. It's being very fair to everybody and saying
Yeah.
in the way they're talking about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you can see the logic of like it worked for us.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't it work for you? And all that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Once again, just like tearing down your own walls and like preconceived notions about everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
That to allow love in, and then like it'll we work.
Mhm.
Mm,
There's there was one more thing about this movie I want to mention because we gotta start wrapping up.
Okay.
I just overall with the sister, I like this like whole story happening in the background, and then her
Mhm.
slowly coming to the foreground of like, yeah, it was all bad, like back
Yeah.
there, and you get to
Yeah.
be happy,
Yeah.
and yeah, of course that's frustrating. It's
Yeah.
not granted, it's not fair for me to be angry as well, but it feels unfair that it gets to work out for you, that you get something real, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's jealousy for sure, and it's definitely like inherently wrong, but it's understandable as like an anger,
Mhm. Mhm.
especially when her marriage was forced upon her,
Yeah.
and it's that weird thing of like she has that feeling of yeah, he gets to be gay with our parents, and he gets to be gay like in his marriage as well.
Yeah.
Like he gets to, it's
Yeah.
that really fucked up like jealousy
Yeah.
sense, and it's more, and it's like, and they hit it on the core too of like it stemmed from just me, not getting to be myself or like to have my own self actualization with my folks,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
so I kind of enjoy that. I thought that like whole conflict with the sister was like, yeah, it's mean and it's definitely like it's definitely wrong, but it feels
Mhm.
real. Like, and it feels
Mhm.
logical into that character too. They do a lot
Mm.
with the very little in this movie. I think it's very like kind of what's the, not just effective. There's a word for when you're making a
Affecting.
lot. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You.
I was gonna say when you're making a law with very little money, like you're using, fuck me, dude. Whatever it was a word. But what do you guys think about the? What do you guys think about that for the sisters' wedding? My wife's
Nick?
For the sister side.
No, I mean that was always the interesting part was like the sister side where it's like, yeah, you see it not working out and then this sort of like frustration that comes with it and like then that's how like it makes that family scene work.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, I just thought it was like I think that part was really really cool about it and how like later on in the film like they her and her brother just talk about like how I didn't get to choose and it's like the thing of like how her husband just doesn't even see her and it's like the most tradition like in the most like unfortunately that's really
Yeah, no, speaking of that line, like I like that whole thing of like should I wear that dress? He's like, I don't care as long as you show up. But then her brother, because he's also a dude, he's like, it's like I don't get it. I don't get why. It's like, and even though I'm over here going like, oh man, what the fuck is this dude? Is this guy doing? No,
That's
you're not.
messed up.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
You don't do that.
No. And especially like that, you can say like you can try to make a romantic and be like, I don't care what you wear, babe, as long as as long as we're there together and all that. You can try to cover your ass like that, but oh man, that's cold shit. That's that's that. Yeah, she's right. Like she is right. Okay.
Well, she was absolutely made a prop in that moment.
Yeah,
like,
she very much was
an object for
just an object to be carted around and arranged.
The one thing I want to throw out related to these two is at the sister's wedding at the beginning and then at Naveen's wedding at the end, you get this cyclical line. You get the brother-in-law telling Naveen at the very beginning, "You're next," and it feels a little bit loaded. It feels a little I don't know, like at least for me is like yeah, exactly.
Go.
If you're
I wouldn't have experience with that.
Oh,
don't know what
me
that
neither.
is.
I don't know what that's like. But at the end of the movie, like you've gone through this journey, and when the mom, played by Zarna Gong, tells the sister, "Sweetheart, you're next," that is pure earnest, like the love of the family. We know you're gonna find someone new, sweetheart. It's gonna work for you. Like such a great use of those two lines. Yeah.
As Nick, you would say, it's the same but different.
It's the same but different.
Anything else to say about this movie before we start ranking? Other than I should give my standard warnings of, hey, I'm a cis Hispanic dude.
Sure.
Don't like. I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying my best. And if I get it wrong, I apologize. Let me know.
Dude, you're doing great.
Fuck. All right. Hey, thanks, man. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for validation here. No, I'm just giving a warning. As my thing of like, you should always whatever I'm fucking talking about. You should always have a grain of salt. Because I'm a man on the internet. Sure. But at the same time, keep listening to your stuff. I'm always right. So
please do.
You're the only one keeping us alive.
Yeah, get fucking. I'm still. Hey, one day we'll get that Baja Blast. Even though I'm trying my best to cut down like on all just bullshit to put in my body, but
I just heard they're making Code Red alcoholic.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I think it is in like with State. They made Livewire alcoholic. And Livewire and Hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast and Hard Mountain Dew Livewire are the two best Hard Mountain Dews. Okay. And they're 0 sugar. They're 100 calories a can. Shit's great. Love it. I'm in love. All right, we got to rank this.
Yes.
A nice Indian boy. First, we have to determine the amount of ROM to COM. What are we feeling, fellas? What's our ratio?
I'd say it's near it's more balanced than most of the things we've
It's
watched.
the most
so
balanced, I think,
Balanced.
so far.
Yeah.
Next to maybe 50 First Dates.
Yes. What was 50 First Dates' ratio
50,
that we gave it?
we gave it 40% ROMs to 60% COM. Crazy
Okay.
Rich Asians, we gave 60% ROM to 40% COM. I actually think it's more ROM. I think it's even. I think I would have moved it to 70% ROM to 30% COM. Now that I'm thinking about it, but the list is final when we
Yeah.
make it. We do
Immovable.
not change things.
Yeah.
Even though we could, it's our fucking podcast.
No,
But
we only look forward. Only
no,
forward.
we all
There's
move
no
forward,
time.
eyes forward only, like predators. So we got yeah. So what are we feeling here? I think it is more ROM to COM though. It's balanced. It's more balanced than most.
Yeah, I would. My first volley would be like 55 to. Geez, what would it be? 45?
55 to 45. 55 ROM, 45 COM. I
think
am
so.
going to counter that.
Okay.
With 65 ROM.
Oh.
To 35 COM. Nick, what do you think?
I'm kind of there of like it is more ROM than COM, but
Mm-hmm.
I think still it's like I think it's a good balance. I don't know, I probably push it closer to like 55 ROM.
Okay.
45
okay, yeah,
COM, but...
if that's 2 for 55 ROM,
Right.
so I will submit to that.
All right.
Let's do 55% COM, which means it's our most balanced one in the rankings so far. 5.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
We are almost there to the perfectly balanced, like everything should
to the
be.
perfectly to the way it should be if it's going to be called 2 genres in one, right?
To the perfect Buddhist path, the middle way.
The middle way.
Yes.
All right, do we buy the romance?
Chris,
You know
do you
what,
buy
yeah.
it? You monster, do you buy it?
Absolutely not. Too fast.
Why are you gay?
They met and got married in an hour and a half. I don't believe it.
Receipts. I want to see them.
Seats. That was a lot of montage. How'd they move that fast? Anyway.
I don't even think that song was really playing that whole time.
No. All right. No, I buy it.
Yeah.
I did mention the parallels between Jay and Manic Pixie Dream Girl, though.
Yeah.
So that did like give me a little bit of pause when we were talking in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more there than I thought there would be. I would have to really think about that.
Yeah, Chris, how magical is he?
He's up there. He sings to him on like day one.
I want to throw out a dimension we didn't unpack so much because they're a very small part of the movie, but you both knew actors, you both know artists, certainly at minimum, I'll say. But the roommates, that felt so much like an important part of how their relationship evolved, and those roommates felt very real as well. Like
yeah, the dude who just pawns off the fucking weed bread
yeah
to the guests.
Yes.
Fucking,
oh my gosh.
I get that's quirky, but like, what if the dude's allergic?
Yeah.
And then he fucking dies. I don't know. To me, now that I know so much more about like drugs and weed, especially, I feel like it's fucking insane that people just give shit without like,
don't
without knowing the person.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking crazy.
Hey, here's some weed.
It can be so bad. Like, to me, that's like, it's not that far off. If anything, it might be the same, especially if the person's allergic, to poisoning someone.
I think that's the charge that you could have against you if it
That's
went
what I would
bad.
argue in court, dude. Like if I if I had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's played off as cute and quirky. That shit drives me up a fucking wall. And like, all right, but to the other roommate, the way she talks to him, yeah, that's super real. I've I've had that shit. I've even done the thing to friends like partners or SOs where I'm just like, I'm trying to gauge them. I'm trying to be like, okay, you cool? Yeah, like this is my friend, man. I've fuck. Do we want to name your partner on here? Have we done that yet? Because I did tell them.
It's fine. You can.
Okay, yeah. So Ian's partner, John. I did have that thing once where I was like, okay, hey, I just want to make sure you're treating him right. That's my boy. That's my best friend. That's one of my best friends. Right. I just need to make sure, because and then I did say, the fact that he's bringing you here is like a big step.
Yeah.
And that means he's comfortable with you around us, and that's pretty crazy.
He barely brings himself.
Yeah.
I'm barely comfortable with my own self.
Yeah. So I did have that, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I gave him the It's Always Sunny ocular pat down.
But
no, but so I've done that, but I haven't. But I didn't make it as weird as that. I thought I was trying to have a real party drinking conversation, right? Like
yes.
I just want to make sure this shit ain't gonna go bad.
I know the female roommate. I know girls like that in Silver Lake. I know girls like that in East LA. I'm like her. I've met her. We know her. Yeah.
I know so many. I've not that I'm saying friends with them because I wouldn't argue I am. I just know them.
Right.
Yes. Just like of just the full on. She does like they get real mean. Like they don't talk to us enough. She doesn't talk to us enough to some other person in that circle's partner. And like they should open up and all that. And I'm just like you don't even know the person, man. Just like wait a little bit. We'll find out if they're bad.
Yeah.
Then we can act like
Yeah.
Okay, so we buy the romance.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Definitely. Where are we ranking this? So at number 4, we have Sleepless in Seattle. I think it is better than Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement on there. Is it better than 50 First Dates?
Yeah, I like it.
Potentially, yeah.
I think it is. I think here's what I will say. The whole aspect of planning the wedding and the stuff with the parents, I think pushes A Nice Indian Boy over from like a 7 to maybe like an 8 or like a 9. If you had to give it a numerical ranking. But what I'm saying there is that 50 First Dates also has a problem where it takes a little bit to get to the really interesting bit.
Yes.
But when 50 First Dates get there, it's really fascinating how they navigate the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And kind of interesting. Whereas this is, I would argue it's a better movie throughout. I don't know if it's as interesting as the concept to 50 First Dates, but I still think it's interesting and it works. I'm gonna say I'm gonna vote it above 50 First Dates. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree in the sense that I think that it is more consistently funny and it's a more consistently enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the weird accent in it that we didn't like in that movie.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck
Rob
Schneider's doing. Tim Heidecker coming up with that character that's slightly based off of not just oh my god, Andrew Dice Clay, but it has a little bit of Rob Schneider in there as the hack comedian. It's so fucking spot on and funny.
I saw a clip of Tim Heidecker's like deliberately terrible Gen X stand-up special.
Yeah, the hack comic, the leather jacket.
Fuck. And then I watched someone had clipped on Twitter like a bit of Rob Schneider doing it. Yeah. And there was like a whole gesture there was a whole like physiologic segment that Tim embodied so beautifully of, oh my God, this is all real. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Tim, I mean, we've all heard my things on like satire, but I think that like special is so just spot on. And like, if you know comedy is really fucking scathing against those comics, that it actually becomes like, oh, this is like this is
He's
like
pissed
he's
off for
making a
real.
stance here. Yeah, like this is a real stance and everything, and it's done incredibly well, and it's still funny.
Yeah,
there's a real beauty to that stand up, which at first is so abrasive to you. Like it's really good. Okay.
And then, but wait, above that is going after 50 First Dates is going to be Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. Is it better than Crazy Rich Asians?
I think it's nearly. I'd put it just damn near the same for my money. Probably around here is where I'm thinking it's going to go.
So I personally like this more than Crazy Rich Asians. I think.
Okay.
I think I do.
What do we think, Nick?
I think I'm just gonna say this feels like a more complete package, if that makes sense.
I think
Crazy
so.
Rich Asians still has the book problem.
It doesn't have any of the hanging plot threads.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Chris. I think probably that I put it above Crazy Rich Asians. I think mainly for me, it's just like I found myself sort of more believing the marriage, believing like the problems where I don't know. I never dated a really rich man, so
right.
Yeah. And granted, that's part of it, right? Is the whole fish out of water aspect for that, in that we're supposed to relate more to the protagonist of that movie and her not meshing with the rich, and not just the rich, the uber rich, like the super rich.
The element of fantasy wish fulfillment of you fall in love with your dream guy and he turns out to be inheritor to like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like in there too. These are all very grounded folks.
This all felt. I mean, we were just talking about how even some of the more comedic characters feel like people we know in real life.
Yeah. I like that, guys. I'm inclined to agree with y'all about maybe bringing it above Crazy Rich Asians. Then, yeah.
I think this is a well shot movie too. I think the script's tight. Granted, knowing that it came from a play, I get that now. Now, is it better than Love and Basketball? This is where I'm going to stop it. I think Love and Basketball is still a better
movie. Love and Basketball is maybe a better movie, but is it a better rom-com?
That's the question, right? Because it's more romance. But some of the jokes in Love and Basketball, Ian, do hit pretty hard when they
do
work. I'm thinking of the trophy scene in Spain is, I think, fucking hilarious. And petty, and there's a lot of nice like dialogue that's really funny.
This is true. Yeah,
but you're right. It's way more romance than calm. But I think I like Love and Basketball more still, dude. I don't know.
I'll give Love and Basketball this as well.
It's a journey. It's a journey.
Whoever else movie has thoughts to throw in it is also a movie that is so seminal that basically the whole like both romantic films, comedy films, and there's maybe 3 or 4 genres of movie that just kind of pull from that as a reference point for plot, inspiration, character, name it, you know.
And it gets it gets so much of its subject matter right, and just romance from like middle class family or like upper middle class, honestly, like the way their houses are, because he's a basketball player. But also like how just sports work, how basketball works as like an entity in both lives for people trying to like make it in there, have it pay through their college and everything. But also as a corporate entity of, I'm a woman playing basketball in the US. Shit's limited, man. So I'm gonna go to Spain. Or like his like realization of basketball and what it meant to him with his connection with his dad. I think plays out super well, and you believe it, you buy it, you were there for the journey. of that revelation. I don't know. I really like Love and Basketball. I really do. But Nick, what do you think? Nice Indian Boy or Love and Basketball?
That's tough.
Mm.
That's tough. I think the jokes I like more are in Love and Basketball, but
They're more our speed. The real petty, like just showboaty stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's tough. Man, I think this is where a Nice Indian Boy is gonna end for me. I think this is the end of the road.
Number 2.
I accept that. Okay.
It's 2, 1. Yeah. It's good. It's really good. I'm surprised how much I really like this movie.
Can I just say, guys, this list has been such a roller coaster of surprise. I genuinely had no idea. It's shocking. It's staggering. I love it.
I still can't believe how far Sleepless in Seattle just didn't work for us.
I kind of hope that we pick another classic and that it shits the bed worse.
Well, hey, 500 Days of Summer is June's rom-com. And hey, man, no one's going to be happy, I think.
Yeah.
With that. So let's get ready for that. Man, I know people who that was like their fucking favorite movie in college. It was either that, I'll give this credit to my bad memory. It was either that or Eternal Sunshine in the Spotless Mind, right? Is that what that movie is? I haven't watched that movie either.
Yeah.
But let's see. I could have put Garden State on here, but I don't think it's a comedy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a comedy, and it is definitely notorious for being a self-indulgent kind of film. That's kind of all I remember about it.
And we don't have Juno on our list, I don't think, for this year because we have a bunch of stuff coming up.
Oh yeah,
it might still make it. We'll see. We'll see. If anything, here, hey, this is what we're ending this anyway. This is where we're stopping off. This is where the next few months are going to look like in terms of rom-coms. So let me get the okay. Oh, I was wrong. Okay. So this month was A Nice Indian Boy. Next month is actually going to be the anime His and Her Circumstance.
Oh, so
suggested by Nick.
Yes.
Okay.
We
That'll
get
be
to
June.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm just excited because we now get to connect everything we talked about and experienced. Where we're like, yo, Evangelion's cool and all, but Anno, he made a funny once. It was good.
Okay.
So that's what pushed it for me once I found out Anno was on.
A chill runs up my spine.
Yeah. The man who's only wanted to make Eva or Sentai or but real heady versions. So His and Her Circumstance, the anime, will be for June 15th. And then July 15th will be 500 Days of Summer.
Okay, sweet.
For July. Wow. And we can't wait for that. And then, special announcement here, August is going to be a big month. We're planning 4 podcasts, 1 for each week, as we make it the month of Scott Pilgrim, which is a rom-com. Day 1, week 1, I'll give the exact dates later as we figure it out. Is probably the most homework, which is the first week is the graphic novels.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of go in chronological order, with the 15th being the movie.
Okay.
3rd is going to be the video game, which I have a lot to say about, but we'll see if, Nick will probably do too. We'll see how Ian does with that.
Yep.
And 4th is the anime for the end of the month.
Okay.
So look forward to August. So we got our next 3 months planned out.
Nice.
Of June, July, August, yes. So that'll be that for what we got out of it in this episode. For A Nice Indian Boy, sitting at number 2 at 55% ROM and 45% COM. And yes, we buy the romance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed this movie. Can't
Enjoy,
wait for
folks.
the next one. Looking forward to, we're going to do an anime. I said I would get one in to everyone, and Nick suggested it's in her circumstance, so we're going to do it.
Could I do one if you liked it at the end, real quick?
Oh shit! Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah.
No.
Exposition.
Sure. Some extra homework. If y'all watch A Nice Indian Boy, if you like this film, the next film I think you might like is about a 25-year-old classic at this point, I guess. My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Shit, I gotta watch that too. Okay.
Which is, I haven't watched it since it came out in 99, 2000. But I remember enjoying it as a kid, and it was also a film about being from a culture that is un-American and bringing in, and how do you bridge the romance when you are a part of a very different culture. So back then, Greeks were unthinkable, so different than us Americans. But I liked it. Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Right on. Okay. Nick, do you have any recommendations? Because I think I have one.
Yeah, I think I have one in particular. I am pulling up the name because I'm gonna butcher it, but it's on Netflix and it's from one of the directors for Spider-Verse. He made a rom-com with the same team from Sony
Nice.
on Netflix, and it's with that's the one where they had like the whole music for that stack, because it's like Terrace Martin and like the whole, that whole ring Kamasi Washington has with the supergroup. Now I'm trying to find it, but I think that one's also like based in New York, and like it's also like a rom-com sort of centering around like this guy moving into the city and then like just do some apps. But let me find it.
Yeah. That's man. I'm trying to figure out my fucking show's name. I
Oh,
remember
Intergalactic.
exactly. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
What's that?
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
What's the movie?
Intergalactic. It's like the vision. It's supposed to be like the animation take on like Kid Cudi's last album called The Same Thing, and then directed by Fletcher Moles, and then you have like it's pretty wild. Like, so you have like Timothy Chalamet in it as one of the friends, and then you have Vanessa Hudgens as like one of the like New Yorkers, and it's all about like it's very music heavy, like it's very music video heavy, but it's also like it is pretty much like one of these really visual, like really there's not that much dialogue in it, funny enough, but it is really interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really cool, and like it is very much like them kind of going about the Spider-Verse project in a way where this is more like more visual and audio versus like actual dialogue. But I think that it's just a fun, like, if you're into that, I think I recommend Intergalactic.
This was Intergalactic on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah.
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, again.
That sounds awesome.
Man, okay, so I cannot find the name of the show. I'm trying to remember. Maybe Ian will help me.
Sure.
It was a 90s. I want to say it was MTV. I could be totally wrong on that.
Okay.
Animated adult show about these guys living in a city, and it's a dude with blue hair, and I think Brian Posehn plays a redheaded friend who's kind of silent, just making grunts.
I know exactly who you are talking about. Yes.
I'm gonna look up. Hang on, Brian Posehn animated show.
It was Fox, I want to say, and it ran with the Oblongs.
Yes. Fuck.
Dude. Now I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Brian Posehn's in it. there's an episode. There's what I'm trying to get at is there's a gay couple in there.
Yes.
And it's
Tom Kenny is half of it, I think.
Yeah, Tom Kenny's one of the guys. And that show's like fine, and it's really funny. It has a great joke about like the main group starting a club, and it's just a closet, but they just make it so people waste their time going outside or like waiting outside, and then they close it down and just go, man, what a crazy wild ride, but I can say I was there. Fuck. But what I'm getting at is the last episode is about the couple's Mission Hill. Fuck yeah, found it.
That's it.
Mission Hill. Okay, the last episode is the best episode. It's about how the couple meets. And
the movie marathon, the film. Oh my god, dude! Yes,
and it's about how the couple meets, and I'm not going to give too much away, but it has to do with like making a movie and making increasingly bad decisions because you're just so like enamored with someone, right?
Yeah.
But it works out, and you still like do it for love. But what's cool about that episode is that so early on, it just depicts them so real and like people. They're not it's weird. They're cartoon characters, but they're not being portrayed as like the fact that they're gay is not the cartoon aspect of them. If that makes sense.
I mean,
they're go ahead. It's not the
I would
joke.
maybe describe their character as elementary school teacher and fry cook. Like that's kind of what I think of when I think of that couple.
And it's a real sweet story. I would recommend that episode. You don't even need to really watch the others. You just need to know their characters in the show.
Yeah. Good pick, man. Good pick. Chris.
Yeah, that was a good one. And that's all I can think of right now. So Mission Hill, last episode. I think they used to be free on YouTube. I have no idea if they still are. All right, we did it.
We did it.
Call it there. Oh my god, this was a long one. It was a good movie though.
Yeah,
it was a good one. I got to go take care of stuff. I have to get this out for tomorrow. So, with that being said, bye.
Bye.
Hey, bye.